Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to my top 20 for 2020. Now, this is going to be 70s horror. Just keep in mind that this is just my opinion, and I want to thank my good buddy, Joe the Horror Man, for coming up with this challenge with me. The 70s, the decade I was born. Now, many people consider the 90s the most underrated decade for horror. Not me. I consider the 70s the most underrated decade for horror. There's just something about the weirdness and the direction that the world was going in that makes for some really, really awesome horror. So, without further ado, let's get started. Coming in at number 20 is Grizzly. Grizzly's an awesome movie. It's always been one of my favorites. Ever since I saw it on network television when I was younger, it just blew me away, and it had a way of staying with me. And that's when you know that you're watching a good horror movie, when it stays with you. It's Jaws with Claws. It's Grizzly. Coming in at number 19 is one of my favorite series, the Blind Dead series. And from that I picked Tombs of the Blind Dead. Now, this probably won't be on anybody else's list, but I absolutely love the Blind Dead series. And this is my favorite. The very first one, the one that started it all. Love the Knights Templar, the zombie-like figures with robes that are just so menacing in this film. I love it. Coming in at number 18, may surprise some people. It's the original Island of Dr Moreau. Yeah, this is another one that I watched when I was younger, and it just stayed with me. The 90s Dr. Moreau has a completely interesting story with Richard Stanley being ousted from the project. But this one is probably the closest to the book from H.G. Wells. And I've always loved the book. I've always loved the movie. And I do consider this horror. The Island of Dr. Moreau. Coming up at number 17 is Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Now, this one has just been recently released on Scream Factory. I do plan on getting it. Haven't heard much about it as far as transfer or anything. I'm sure I'll love it because I have always loved this movie. This movie has a very odd tone to it and a completely eerie, weird soundtrack, which gets me every time. I absolutely love this movie, and yeah, it's one of my favorites, definitely. Like I said, the 70s was a weird, weird decade. Coming in at number 16 is Tourist Trap. Now, I know this is the Full Moon Blu-ray. This is not the uncut version, but I do love this version. I probably have seen the uncut version in my life, but for some reason I do not own it. I am going to rectify that sometime, but for right now, this is what I have, and I love this movie. It is so freaking creepy. Tourist Trap at number 16. Alright, coming in at number 15 is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. This is a very weird movie because when people react to it, they either love it or they hate it. There are not too many people that are just like, you know. And even though the Evictors probably would have made my list, I decided to keep it to only one per director and one kind of per favorite actor. And you'll see that coming up, of course. Yeah, I love The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I love the whole mockumentary feel to it. The narration in the beginning is just awesome. And Charles B. Pierce was an awesome, awesome director. And that's The Town That Dreaded Sundown at number 15. Coming in at number 14 is a movie that I'm kind of late to the party on. It's Silent Night, Bloody Night. Now, if you're familiar with my friend Joe the Horror Man, you know that this is one of his favorites of all time. He actually got me to watch this movie. Now, I'm sure everyone who owns DVDs has a copy of this somewhere in their collection. The only problem is there aren't really many good copies out there. And to be honest, the first time that I watched this, I had to ask Joe who the killer was because I really couldn't see it. It was so bad. So I picked up this restoration edition, and it's basically the best copy out there. I did just buy Silent Night, Bloody Night 2, the revival on Blu ray, which does have this on there as a special feature, the original. And it might be a little bit better than this copy, but this is, if you're interested in really watching a great proto slasher, check this out. It's awesome. Yeah. And this is definitely an affordable copy. I believe it goes for about $8 on Amazon. Coming in at number 13 is Four Flies on Grey Velvet. Now, I know many people are saying, where the hell is Deep Red? Where is Suspiria? My favorite by Argento is actually Opera, and this is my second favorite, Four Flies on Grey Velvet. This was apparently his lost movie or something like that. I was late to the party with this one. I'd seen some of his other movies before that, but I love this. I love the stylized shots in this film. I like the fact that it's about a musician because I'm a musician myself, and I don't know, I just love it. I watched it actually before doing my ranking to make sure that it still held up because I hadn't seen it in a while. Coming in at number 12 will be Tales from the Crypt. Now, Tales or Vault of Horror actually also could have made this list, but I wanted to stick with one anthology that was from Amicus. I didn't want to put too many on there. But Tales from the Crypt, incredible. And this is definitely, in my opinion, the best double feature that Scream Factory has ever put out. Both of these movies are incredible. And if you like anthologies like I do, this is a must to have in your collection. Coming in at number 11, probably also will be a surprise. And that is The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane with Jodie Foster. This movie's always been a favorite of mine. It has just a really downer feel to it, and kind of like a doom sort of feeling to it. It's hard for me to explain. But I have always loved this movie. I love the concept. Martin Sheen plays a complete creep in this movie, and he does it so well. Yeah. That's The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. Coming in at number 11. Alright, guys, we're into the top 10. And at number 10 is Madhouse. This is my favorite Vincent Price movie. I love Madhouse. Peter Cushing, of course, today is his birthday. I do believe that I'm recording this. This won't be put out today, but I love this movie. It just, to me, it's so much fun. I love the character of Dr. Death that Vincent Price plays in this film. To me, this is just awesome. I love this movie. Always have. And I could have easily put a top 20 of just Vincent Price movies in here. So, yeah, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to kind of explore different movies. And I mean, the Abominable Dr. Phibes could have been in this list, but, we're not allowed to do honorable mentions. So, coming in at number 9 is Alien. The only way I have it is, of course, this anthology. But Alien is it's just a great monster slasher movie that is really, really claustrophobic. It gets me every time. I love the acting. I love a lot of the scenes and the way they're shot in this movie. This movie is just awesome all the way around. And that is number 9, Alien. Coming in at number 8 is The Exorcist. Now I'm going to put both copies up here, the original and the version you've never seen. But I have seen it, but I mean, I don't know really what more to say about this film. It's incredible. It's really scary. I know a lot of people have been saying it's been it's kind of overrated lately. That seems to be the popular thing to say. This movie terrified me when I was younger, and I have a lot of personal attachment to this film. So, yeah. The Exorcist coming at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is, of course, Jaws. I'm sure this will be a lot of people's number 1. For me, it's just number 7. But what a number 7 it is. I mean, just an amazing film. I like I said, along with The Exorcist, I don't really know what else to say about Jaws that hasn't already been said. The characters are incredible. It's just an amazing, amazing film. So, coming in at number 6 is the original Dawn of the Dead. My favorite zombie movie, and arguably George Romero's masterpiece. If you ask 10 different people, you'll get 10 different answers usually for what your favorite Romero movie is. Mine is Dawn of the Dead. I just love the feel of it. I love the mall setting. Everything about it is just incredible to me. So, yeah, that's number 6. Dawn of the Dead. Coming in at number 5, and we've cracked the top 5. Some people may be surprised how low this is, but it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I absolutely love this movie. I always have. I probably have 6 or 7 different copies of it between DVD, steelbooks, Blu-rays. But there just happens to be 4 movies I like a little bit better. So, yeah. But this movie changed a lot of things in the world of film. And Tobe Hooper was a genius when he did this film. In my opinion, of course. Coming in at number 4 is Phantasm. Now, this, of course, is from my favorite horror director, Don Coscarelli. And you may ask, why is it number 4? Because there's 3 movies I like better. But this is a series, it's awesome. I am still not the biggest fan of Ravager. I do like it. But I just think the movies are so much fun. And I've told the story before, but I finally did get to see this on the big screen last year around Halloween, and it was one of the better experiences of my life. Just so cool to see it on the big screen, because I was 8 when this movie came out, and of course they wouldn't take me to see it. So, coming in at number 3, this was a tough one because my number 1 and 2 are usually always my number 1 and 2, but I love this movie so much that I don't know. It's a tough one. Magic. Such a fantastic movie. And of course, you guys know that this is my icon. Acting in this movie is brilliant. It's everything. It's just a great movie. Fantastic movie. I love it. Always been one of my favorites. Probably always will be. Definitely have to pick up that Blu-ray from Second Sight, I believe, put it out. But yeah, just an incredible film. And the trailer still scares me to this day. It gives me chills. So, not going to lie. The original TV spot that had to be pulled from television because parents were complaining that it was scaring their children. So, long live facts. Coming in at number 2, shouldn't be a big surprise to anyone that knows me. It is 74's Black Christmas. I just think this is a great movie, and my 1 and 2 could easily flip-flop because of how much I like them. Actually, my 1, 2, and 3 could probably flip-flop, but I love Black Christmas, and I still remember the first time I saw it, those phone calls sent a chill up my spine. Just an amazing film. I just can't get enough of it. There is a little bit of a pacing problem, but other than that, it's just about the perfect movie. So, there's Black Christmas coming in at number 2. Which leaves number 1, of course, will probably be number 1 on a lot of people's list. But one of my very favorite movies of all time, wanted to show a different copy of the movie that I have. And that, of course, is Carpenter's Halloween. I mean, this is just a fantastic film. I really can't say much more about it. Darn near perfect. And I've said this before, the only thing that annoys me about this film is, one of the actresses, of course, her name is escaping me, but I've said it several times, so you guys know who I'm talking about. PJ Souls, yeah. Her acting kind of annoys me in this a little bit, but the dialogue was pretty much true to form for that time in that era. So, yeah, just a fantastic film. And that's it, guys. It's my list. Wanted to thank everyone again who has participated or who will participate. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.